Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. It's the Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time show. We had a nice little show on Monday. Can we do it again? I think we can. Tune in and find out and help us do it.
Yeah, I'm so fresh like the morning. Mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me, they in G-Shock. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive. You can see me like Illuminati. You can see me like Illuminati. But I'm trying to...
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. Today is Wednesday, May 20th. This is the 5 p.m. Eastern show we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday's always chaotic. Wednesday, always a little bit more relaxed. We have fewer games on Monday. The show 2 days ago was a nice one. A little nice one for me. I did have a loser in the NHL. I freaking took that first period under in the Montreal game. But in MLB, it was nice. Anyone who was counting, my official plays were 11-7 plus 4.3 units, which is nice. The official lean 6-5, exactly even. So we're going to see if we can do it today. A nice little card. And I think we got some things that I'm liking. Shout out to everyone in the comments section and everywhere. Let me just get all my stuff here. We'll rap a little bit for a few minutes while I get all my notes because we don't have the pressure. Shout out to everyone. Chappy Funk. Did you see my clip where I Chappy Funk, where I did my bars? Maybe we should produce it. What do you think? I'll text you after this show, Chappy Funk. Great to see you in the comment section. Top set says ready to fire beat going to see the Marlins Friday against the Mets. Want to play for that game? I will do that for you. Top set. Great to see you in the comment section. Top set. We got a smaller card today, so it's going to be very relaxed. Very nice. UNLV. Shout out UNLV. Just my 2 cents. Yeah. Look, the Monday show is good. It was all right. You know, I've had some doozies, some not, but overall things have been good. And Monday was nice. Wasn't afraid to pull the trigger on the Brewers as a big dog. And Imanaga, an absolute stud, but I took his under outs prop at big money. I'm very proud of that. And I don't know if Jermaine 34 is in the comment section, but he had a freaking awesome call on running the first yes in that Seattle game, which I wound up with Wu against Schultz. Remember that one? I wound up taking first 5 under. Later on after the show, and that one cashed, and of course the 7.5 under cash, the 7 push, but the run in the first, yes, cashed for Jermaine. That was a very impressive call from Jermaine. Shout out top set. Marlins Monday was free. I don't even remember. Oh yeah. I think I had that one. 2 leans. Yeah, I had the over strikeouts prop which cashed, but then the over outs prop for Richie which lost. Yeah, I missed that one, Ben. You know, was thinking, I guess I was a little bit scared of Atlanta as a team, you know what I mean? And maybe giving too much credit to Richie in general. But yeah, great call there. Top set. And we'll look at the Friday game. I can't wait, baby. Oh, he has a few beats ready for Chappy Funk. You saw it, right? You know, you saw my bars, right? Am I the greatest MC in the world? No. Am I better than the fat guy from PM Dawn? Yes. So I think that's good enough for me. Shout out Colin Gregory, D4K. All right, let's get all my shit everything here. And we got the Pinnacle stuff. All right, I don't want to be too lax here. But we're having a nice, I got to tweet it out just so everyone knows where it is. Shout out to everyone in the comments section. We're going to tweet this out real quick. And then we'll come back. So get all your notes together, baby. Hold on 1 second. Got to tweet this out. Let's see. Here we go. We're live, baby. I'm promoting this. I'm writing copy as we speak. Don't worry, baby. A few more exclamation points. Paste it. And there we go. All right, we're ready to go. I do love looking at the Chris line moves though. Trying to guess. Let me pull up those lines and have Pinnacle. I gotta have Pinnacle open. Shout out to everyone. Great to see you in the comment section. Top set. Sorry, the start to the show is a little bit boring while I get my shit together. Once again, I try to get a plan to be more prepared in the opening minutes of this show. There we go. We got that. There we go. And let's get that one up there. Chris stuff. There we go there. A few games have some weather issues today, which a few games could possibly have in-game delays, which could impact pitching props. Sometimes positively. You know, I think there's a few that I'm liking today that it actually could possibly impact positively. All right, let me just pull up Pinnacle here. Pull up good old Penny here. Get that. Here we go. There. Oh, man. All right, hold on. I'm gonna need a couple more seconds here. And then we'll be ready to go in a serious way. There you go. Oh man. All right, sorry. Accidentally clicking on stuff. I want to click on. Just give me a moment. And we'll be all right. There. Okay. A lot of information here. A lot of information that we look at. A lot of stuff we look at. Some stuff maybe gets overvalued. Weather, lefty, righty stuff. Some stuff doesn't get valued enough, even in today's day and age. All right, let's go. Now I think I got everything. Everybody ready? Everybody got your notes? There you go, Swiggy. Best shout out. All right. Okay, let's start. MLB. First game. Where are we? All right. A few more seconds. All right. First game on the card is the Miami game. Atlanta, Miami. Sale gets jumped. Man, I don't know what to exactly think here. Sale, of course, continues to be flat out awesome. Jansen Junk got hit hard in his last game at Tampa Bay. Start before that, he wasn't too great either. But, before that, he had 3 really nice starts. So Jansen Junk is one of these guys who I think legitimately is going to be okay 50% of the time going forward. And then the other 50% of the time get hit or crushed. Sale, though, of course, until further notice, we can expect him to be flat out awesome. Of course, on Monday, Miami 112 zip. Shout out to Top Set for having that one. And then Atlanta, great team, bounced back yesterday. So now we have a huge line here for Atlanta. If Jansen Junk is his top level of what he can do, then he can match Sale, almost inning for inning. Not every inning, but a lot of them. And, I know Baldwin is now out for Atlanta at catcher. That's not great. So now maybe they're a little bit thin at catcher, maybe some issues at catcher. That could be something that you don't really want to bet into as a massive favorite. I was thinking about, Sale is awesome, but my numbers actually indicated small value with Sale under 7.5 strikeouts at minus 118. I didn't bet that, but I was interested to see that. And also tiny value with Sale over 18.5 outs at plus money. So at plus money, numbers I ran had small leans to Sale over 18.5 outs and under 7.5 strikeouts, which is kind of interesting, of course, because with just minus 118 is what I plugged in. Of course, I'd be thinking Miami first 5 team total under, which is almost certainly something I'm going to do in the Ohtani game later on. When you have a guy like Sale, massive favorite there, sometimes the best bet is to just seriously not overthink it and just take the opposing team's first 5 team total under at a big favorite line. I used to do that with Garrett Cole and other elite starters in MLB, and it's something that I still look to. And the Miami first 5 team total is just 1.5 minus 152 on the under. What do you think about that, Top Set? You think Miami's going to get to Chris Sale 2 runs in just 5 innings? Maybe, but what are the chances? What are the odds of that? Shout out to everyone. Tell us what you think here. I mean, Swiggy says minus 150 sounds about right. I don't know. I think maybe 170 might be about right. I mean, Sale is legit excellent. That's not a high line, and Sale is just dealing, I don't like it quite as much as when I take Ohtani opposing team total unders first 5. I like that one a little bit. I have to decide. A lot of my leans, my leans are even. So that's what I'm thinking about. Let's look at we do have the luxury, because it's a shorter card, to look at a little bit more in depth into market stuff. So let's see where this line. Oh, there we go. All right. Wow, so a big move from opening, right? 20-cent move in favor of Miami. Opened at about plus 174. And that's where I saw it. And now at Chris, it's 20 cents lower, plus 153, which is not a surprise to me, but it's also, eye-opening to see. And that move didn't actually it wasn't immediately when the limits opened. Happened about 10:30. There was a big jump there at about 10:30 Eastern time, and then jumped down even a little bit more from them. So a 20-cent market move in favor of Miami, which I would agree with. Again, that was my question mark. I don't know if I take it at plus 153, but at 174 free play, I probably would have done that. Total as you would expect, has dropped about 10 cents. Still not down to 7, but it's about 7.5 minus 114. Actually got down to a minus 120 around noon, and then it's come back up a few cents, which is kind of interesting. All right, so I would agree with all that. Vague lean to the under for sure. Vague lean, I guess, still to Miami at this big of a dog line. Definite hard lean to Miami first 5 team total under, even at minus 156. Very slight lean to Sale under 7.5 strikeouts at minus 118. And that's about it. Let's see what people in the comments section have to say about this. Let's see. And Top Set says Atlanta first 5 minus a half is the play. Yeah, I hear you. Yes. Atlanta first 5 minus a half. What would that be? That would be and you're right, because there is volatility with junk. Absolutely. So let's see. First half, it would be the first half money line minus 1. The first half run line is just minus 119. Just minus 119 at Pinnacle. Yeah. That's got to be at least worth an official lead, if not worth an official play, And then you're thinking, if you're going to do that, why not just take Atlanta full game? But yeah, you know what? I think Jansen Junk is kind of impressive, an overachiever, but still not really quite anywhere close to that level. You're right, Top Set. All right, thanks for pushing me in that direction. I'll take that. I'll make that official. Atlanta, first 5, minus a half run, minus 119, and I will double up with Sale, even though he could implode at any point, and giving up 2 runs is not imploding, but I will take it. Miami, first 5 team total under, 1.5, minus 152. I'll take it. I'll take both of those. Although it does make me a little bit nervous because, again, Junk, when he's on his game, can be close to lights out. And Sale, at some point, he's going to give up 2 runs in 5 innings to some team. And this could be it, In fact, you know what? I'll skip that. I'll just keep the first 5 team total under for Miami a lean. I'll make the first 5 run line, minus a half, minus 119 as the only official play here. You're totally right. I think you're totally right there. Absolutely. Top Set. That's going to be the official play. And the other one will be just a lean. And then Sale under 7.5 strikeouts. I won't even make that one an official lean. That's an official lean. That's a thought I had. Same thing with the and that's it. Yeah, that's all I'll do here. And definitely also would have to be leaning under as well, just 7.5 under. Because even if Sale gives up 2 runs in 6 innings, all right. And then you got Junk, maybe he gives up 3 and 5, right? And then, I'll hold off on that one. Those are just things I'm thinking about. Okay, next game on the card. Great breakdown, everyone. And thank you for Top Set for putting me on the right play here, I think. Next game on the card, Cleveland and Detroit. This one I really don't understand. Top Set, tell me what you think about this one. Cleveland and Detroit. I didn't see the opener. I did look at the overall rec book line at like 2 p.m. Caesars. Cleveland was like minus 120, Detroit plus 100. And you got Bybee against Drew Anderson. Not sure how deep he's going to go. He'll probably go a few. His props are indicating that he'll go, 3 or 4 or something. But it's going to be mostly a bullpen day for Detroit. And Cleveland won the first 2 games of this series. They've been winning overall. Great. Bullpen edge here, I think. And then Detroit has been bad overall. And then Bybee, overall not too bad. In tiny sample sizes this year so far, he has struggled majorly on the road. But I think maybe all of that, if not almost all of it, is just due to variance and tiny sample size. He's had success in this ballpark before in his career. So I don't know what's going on with Bybee on the road this year. Maybe it will prove to be something fundamental, but as of right now, I'm willing to throw it out. So in light of all that, Cleveland way better than Detroit as far as the team is concerned. Bybee, a nice starter for Cleveland, and Detroit a bullpen game. How could Cleveland be just a minus 120 favorite? You tell me, Top Set, and anyone else. You tell me. How could that be? How could that be? I don't really know. Let's look at the market moves, and then we'll look at the comment section. I'll make a decision here. And has this line moved? Not really. No. Yeah, if anything, it's moved from opening at Chris in Detroit's favor. Chris opened 111. Now it's down to 106. So this is the obvious trap. Market's telling you what market begging you. People love to say that. And I don't love to say it, but I think in my brain that they're right. Market is begging you to take Cleveland here, aren't they? They're just begging you. At 10:30 a.m., it was all the way down to minus 113 for Cleveland. And then it came back up. So, yeah, not really. Yeah, the market's begging you to take Cleveland, but I might freaking do it. I might do it. Let's look at the total here. See if anything noteworthy has come around on the total. About a 10-cent move to the under. All right, which I understand. Detroit definitely not hitting. Bibee should be okay. And then you have a nice little bullpen game from Detroit. Maybe they'll hold them all down in some way. Let's look at the comment section, see if anyone has that. Yeah, Top Set says fishy, Guardians or pass. Of course. And Top Set says baseball market is wrong all the time. No doubt about that, especially with a lot of the props that I take. Remember, even on Monday, I don't know if you caught it on Monday, but I liked King for San Diego, his outs prop over. I took it at like minus 110 or something. In the show, it had moved like 40 cents the other way. I took it anyway, like plus 130. Wound up cashing easily. I think he went 7 innings. Yeah, so, all right. I might be getting trapped here, but the good thing about these kinds of traps is that if they do trap you, you're getting just a unit and a little more from me. Maybe I should take minus 1 Cleveland, plus 115. No, I'll just take the money line. Just the money line, minus 114. I can't not do it. That's going to be official. Cleveland, full game, money line, minus 114. If they trap me, they trap me. You know what I mean? If they got me, they got me. You know what I mean? You can't fucking fold kings pre-flop. Sometimes you're going to get screwed against aces. You can't do it. All right. I took that. But I really am very interested to see how this game turns out because I really don't quite understand the line or the movement or anything. And I also like the Bibee props, pitching props. Over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 165, running the numbers. There was some value there. Over 17.5 outs at like minus 135, running the numbers. There was some value there. And I think I might go with those as well. I'm not really buying this tiny sample size of Bibee struggling on the road, although it could be real. But I think I'm going to take it. Yeah. Oh, now, all right. So now it's 5.5 strikeouts, juice to the under, but still. And his outs prop is, up to minus 145. All right. I'm going to take both of those. I think Bibee will probably be all right. I get a few Ks here and there. So I will triple up with both of those. Let's see if, here we go at Caesars. All right. Yeah. 17.5 minus 135. I'll make that official. Bibee. Over 17.5 outs, minus 137. Current line at Caesars. Yes, we quote Caesars in this show. It's it's a downgrade, but that's all right. And then the strikeouts, where are we? Yeah, Bibee 4.5 minus 154. So it's even gone down a little bit since I first saw it before. All right, we'll take it. Bibee over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 154. We'll see. If Bibee gets crushed, all three of those will lose. All right, I'll do it. Let's look at the comment section, and then we'll move on. Swiggy Bet says Caesars AC is one of my favorite places. Swiggy, I kind of love AC in general. I don't really admit that too much, but I love it. I want to make a trip there this summer or sometime. I love it. It was so fun to hang out with DJ Big Boss and all those guys at AC. That was fun as hell. I'm gonna send him a message right after this show. Man, I'm so bad at sending people messages. But all right, I'm gonna do it. All right, that's it for the Cleveland game. We'll see how it turns out. Next game on the card, MLB, Mets and Washington. This is a tricky one because you got Zach Thornton starting for the Mets, major league debut. I know he's highly touted. In the minors, he was okay, but not great. He's okay, but not great. They're kind of high on him. I'm not quite seeing it. Washington can hit. That's going to be a tough assignment. And this is also one of the games where there is possible weather issues. The last thing I saw was that it's not exactly clear when what's exactly going to happen here. There's some storms close to Washington, and it's possible that there won't be any interference at all. It's possible there could be a delay. I'm guessing it'll be all right, but it's still a huge question mark with Thornton. And then you got Littell for Washington. Last start was actually his last 3 starts were actually okay, but his strikeout and walk numbers are not good. He should be pretty vulnerable, So I don't know what I'm going to do here. The Mets I first saw were kind of were a favorite. They were a small favorite against Washington, which I think is very risky. Thornton might be good long term, but he wasn't that awesome in the minors, and this is his first major league appearance, not on the road against a team that can hit, in a nice hitting sort of situation. I don't really like this spot for him. I don't really like this spot for Thornton at all. The line hasn't moved much. Open Mets minus 120. Now it's minus 117. So a teeny move in favor of Washington. Just some bouncing around earlier in the day, but nothing major at all. Man, I just don't like this for Thornton. I just don't like the spot for him. Let's see what happened with the total. Total has gotten bet down. That's very weird to me. Opened at 9.5 at Chris. Now it's down to 9, juice to the under, but still. When did that move happen? That move, yep. There was a nice little hit at like 10:45. Yep. Big hit down there to the under. So clearly the market has moved to the under, and clearly the market has no strong opinion right now on the side, either which way. This game makes me nervous. It's probably best to pass completely. I think I might take a shot with Thornton over 4.5 hits, though. This is not an easy assignment. And I was also thinking about the first 5 and first 3 overs, although I don't love doing that after there have been 2, very high-scoring games. But Littell, definitely questionable. Thornton, not an inspiring spot for him. Let's see what people have to say. Shout out to AM. AM likes the Guardians. AM doesn't care if it's fishy or whatever. He's taking it, and he's taking the over in the Braves Marlins game. Okay, I wonder, is that because you think that Sale will get touched a little bit, bullpen after Sale will get touched a little bit, or that Jansen Junk's going to have another crappy start? Interesting. All right, shout out to AM. Great, so great to see you in the friggin' comment section, man. AM likes the over in this one. Yeah, of course. These starting pitchers are legit suspect here. Let's see what the first half over would be. 5 minus 118. One of these guys is going to get hit, man. Probably both of them, right? Let's see what the Thornton hits prop is. Yeah, 4.5. I got to take that one. It looks like I'm going to have to take a bigger favorite line than I took earlier in the day when I did take it. Let's see what we got here at good old Caesars. Yeah. Oh man, minus 173. Yeah, I can't do that. All right, man, minus 169. Oh, that's tough. That really is tough. I should probably run the numbers there. I got minus 145, but this is just not a good spot for him, man. Maybe I should hold off. Maybe I should. Is Littell going to be good? I can't quite see it. Oh, God, I wish 145 was still there. I take 169 officially. Should I do that? I don't know. Let me see. Should I do that? Yeah, and the weather is just, some rain, tiny wind angled in, kind of low 80s, All right, you know what? I'm just going to make the Thornton one a lean. Thornton, not official play, over 4.5 hits, minus 169. If it was minus 145, I would have made it official. 169, I don't know. I just don't know if I can pull the trigger on that. So I'm going to leave it alone. Believe it or not. I'm going to leave it alone. Leave it alone. AM says take full game, not 5. You want Nat's bullpen? Yeah. I mean, the Mets team total over is. Littell, vulnerable to put it mildly. I think the Mets team total is just 4.5 minus 125. Yeah, it's just the weather making me nervous. I'm going to pass on this one. I'm passing on everything. I'm probably leaving money on the table, but that's all right. All right, next game on the card in MLB, Toronto and the Yanks. Yes, Savage against Schittler. And Yankees, of course, a pretty big favorite. Yanks won the first 2 of this series, both of them close. And Schittler just continues to be flat out awesome. Yes, Savage as well. But he's on a pitch limit most games because he had a right shoulder impingement. Still, overall, he's great, though. And so I was thinking, again, and the total was kind of high, 7.5, just the over, minus 127. Yanks a decent-sized favorite. Slight chance of rain here as well. And this also has, last time I checked, a real chance of a delay mid-game or a postponement. Not exactly sure what I should check. More recent weather reports. But the first report that I saw was kind of a high chance of something happening at some point, not necessarily to start, but it is kind of going to be hanging around. So I'm not going to take any of the outs props. I might take no run in the first 3 under, first 5 under, something like that, and maybe the earned runs props as well, because if one of these guys comes in and throws 2 innings and they yank him, you do cash it as long as he starts. So that was very interesting. Savage under 2.5 earned runs. I'm going to make that official. That's just going to be minus 124. Under 2.5 earned runs, minus 124. He could easily get that just with a normal excellent start from him, or with a rain shortened start. So I'll definitely take that. The Schitler earned run prop of 2.5, even at minus 170 or so, had some value when I ran the numbers, and all the early unders as well. Even though those are all, also super obvious, market is begging you to do this type lines, and also just Toronto first 5 and first 3 run lines, right? So let's see, what are we looking at right here? Yeah, the first 3. I mean, look at that. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Sorry, that's not the game. That's not the game. Got to get a different one. Tell us what you think, everyone, in the comment section. I might have been lollygagging a little bit too much here. We might have to pick up the pace a little, but this is an interesting game. I'm not exactly sure why Schitler would have that much of a pitching advantage here that he is actually being given credit for. Yeah. Look at that first 3 under, 2.5 minus 145. I don't get it. AM likes the over 8. Got a bad number, but I'm riding trends today. Top set to first 3 under is my lock. Yankees 8-2 to the over last 10 from AM. How many of those games is Schitler starting, though? Schitler is awesome. Not just really good. Not just one of these 2/3 of the time he's great, and then a third of the time he gives up a couple. He's fucking better than that. He's awesome. All right, I can't not do it. I'm going to take Toronto, Yanks, first 3 under, 2.5 minus 145. Also leaning no run in the first. Also leaning first 5 under. Also leaning Toronto run lines, first 3 and first 5 as well. The Toronto first 3 is just minus 140. How can that be? All right, I'll make that official as well. Fuck it. Toronto, first 3 plus a half run, minus 140. Of course, Schitler is even better, I guess, a little bit, but I got to take that one plus a half run, minus 140. I'll just do it once. I won't take the first 5, although the first 5 is even money. Jeez, look at that. Even money, man. But yeah, with the weather issues, I'll just I won't go nuts with all this stuff. And I was thinking about running the first Jets no run in the first, just for shits and giggles. Let's see what that is. Yeah, minus 130. It's not too bad. I know there's some big bats here. No run in the first, minus 130. I don't know about that. Maybe. Oh yeah, there's some big bats though. Definitely some big bats. All right, I'll hold off. I'll just take the first 3. I'll just take the first 3, and then let's see what Pinnacle would have for the Jays first 5 plus a half plus 102. That just looks so tempting, man. He has the guy has a great friggin' splitter. He really does. You know what? And it's tough. I will though. I'll double up on it. I'll take the first half plus a half plus 102. I'll double up on it. Jays first half plus a half plus 102. I'll double up on it. I'll do it. The first half total is so tempting as well. 4 minus 112. How can it be quite that high? 4 minus 112. I don't really get it. All right, I'll just stick with the first 3 under. All right, let's look at the shout out Swiggy Bets. All right, let's quickly glance. I might have to pick up. No, we're doing all right. I do want to see what the market did here, and yeah, it's moved in the Yankees' favor, which is a little bit surprising to me. I mean, of course, they were a friggin' juggernaut before their last road trip, but then they lost 7 of 9 on the road, and the first 2 games here have been each by 1 run, and the starting pitching is close to being a wash, but. Yeah, it got up there. So, all right, Yankees, small market move to the Yankees, even opening as a huge favorite. And the total, has gotten bet down 15 cents. AM doesn't care. AM likes the over. It's now 7.5 on both sides. Open 7.5. So Chris opened at about 16 cents, 20 cents higher than where it is right now. We'll see. All right, next game on the card in MLB is and I also wanted Schitler under 4.5 hits, which especially if it gets delayed or postponed or whatever, that could be good too. That was another one that statistically, when I ran the numbers, had some value. Now it's 5.5 minus 167 plus 125 there. All right, I'll make that one. I'll just make that one a lean, and I'll use the Pinnacle line. Schittler under 5.5 hits minus 167. That is not an official play. That is just an official lean. And the weird part, yeah, okay, all right. Anyway, let's move on. Next game on the card is Boston and KC. Early against Waka. This is Boston. They had been bad, but now they've actually won the first 2 games of the series. And KC, I thought KC might bounce back after their bad road trip, but they've now lost the first 2 in this series. They've now lost 8 of 9, and in their last 4 games combined, they've scored 6 runs total in the last 4 games. So now you got early against Waka. Waka has definitely been pretty impressive this year. At one point, I thought he might fall back down to earth, which didn't happen. He came back up. A couple of bad starts, but then he came back up. He did give up 3 in his last start, but overall, pretty impressive. Early, though, overall excellent. 3 starts ago, he got hit, but overall, very, very good. And so this is kind of another one where it's a little no-brainer-ish Boston. Even though Boston has been terrible for a while, KC in a really bad way right now. And KC, probably I'd give a starting fishing edge to Boston as well. And there's definitely some pitching props for early that I was liking also. Waka's really been suppressing hits. Is that for real or not? I'm going to look into it a little bit more to see what I can suss out. But if it is for real, then his under 5.5 hits prop at like minus 135 or so has very good value. But let's look at the market. Then we'll look at the comments section, and then we will make some decisions, and then we'll move on. Where is it? Let's see. I'm curious to see what the market did here. Pretty much nothing. Opened KC minus 113. It's about 4 cents higher now at Chris. So just some bouncing. It did get up to 125. All right. So some notable bouncing, but nothing too crazy. And it's right about where it opened at Chris right now. And as far as the total is concerned, the total's crashed. Wow, look at that. More than a half run. Opened at 8, juiced to the over a little bit. Now it's 7.5, juiced to the under a little bit. So, and that was all recent. That was not early morning limits opening stuff. In fact, when the limits opened, almost nothing happened. And then the big move to the under came at like 4:30. Came about an hour ago. Look at that. So a pretty big overall market move to the under, which I guess I would agree with. The Lugo game, the last one, there was a market move there, and I agreed with that one. And this I would vaguely agree with as well. I like early. Waka, I like a little bit, although I'm a little bit concerned about him, but I like it anyway. I would probably continue to have a small lean to the under here. Now let's look at the comment section. I will make some decisions. AM likes the under 8. Yep, I would agree with that. Jerry Davis also likes the under, which he says is the play. I agree with that. You can't get that anymore, but I agree with that. And definitely be leaning that way, even at 7.5. Shout out Sweetie Bets. Shout out Agent Parlay, baby. Spoot. Oh, did you? Okay, that changes things. I still haven't bought it yet, and I'm just like, man. I guess I'm like with AI now. It's like nothing matters. Like, who cares? Who cares? But okay, that changes things. Spoon's bets. That's news. All right, now I'm gonna have to rethink things. Think about my summer plans here. Thank you for letting me know, Spoonie. Thank you for letting me know that. Now that changes things. All right, let's get back to this friggin' Boston game here. All right, I'm definitely gonna take the early props that I bet and that I liked. Let's see where they have moved. I took early over 16.5 outs at minus 110. Let's see where that is right now at Pinnacle. Yeah, all right. So minus 117. So hasn't moved much. I'm gonna check Caesars just to see what I can if I can get a few cents more. And I like that one the most. I also did take a shot with early over 3.5 strikeouts at minus 130. I like that one a little bit less, but I like it. Yeah, now it's down to minus 126 at Pinnacle. So that's in line with how I was thinking. It actually moved against me a little bit. All right, let's see where we are. Checking Caesar. I should really be checking the others, like DraftKings and everything. But all right, I'll take a shot with early over 4.5 strikeouts minus 126. Make that one official. And I also like the outs prop over 16.5 for him. We're going to take 115. Okay. 16.5 outs. Minus 115. I got minus 110. So, yes, I did beat the move. Taking those two. And then, and then statistically a lean to Waka under 5.5 hits at minus 136, but I don't know. I'm just not sure how much I can trust his hit suppression going forward. Although give him a lot of credit, he's definitely been doing it and getting it done. Definitely been getting it done. Statistically, some value with Waka under 5.5 hits. I'll make that a lean, minus 136. Not an official play, just a lean. Waka under 5.5 hits, minus 136. That's an official lean, not an official play. And then what else is there? Let's see. Yeah, all right. I guess I'll just stick there. And again, I would definitely be agreeing with everyone who likes the under and the market, even at 7.5. It would have to be no-brainer-ish leaning towards Boston. Let's look at the comment section, and then we'll move on. All right, Royals are the stinky line of the day, says AM. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on a money line there. All right, next game on the card: Milwaukee Cubs, Harrison against Cabrera. Upper 40s weather and a double-digit wind blowing in. So that explains the very low total here. Milwaukee, of course, won the first two games of the series. They're absolutely rolling. Cubs terrible right now. When Imanaga was starting, I think it was AM. It was like Brewers, and I was like, yeah, of course. And but it was just tough to fade Imanaga, even though I had no problem taking his outs prop. And when I made that pick, I was like, man, I should take the 1.5 or -1 line for a bigger dog line, but I didn't do that. And of course, the Cubs won by a mile. So, Milwaukee won by a mile. So, Milwaukee legitimately good right now, and the Cubs legitimately terrible. So now you got Harrison against Cabrera. Harrison is a guy who was highly touted, struggled for quite a bit. Now it looks like he's pulling it together. He's having some excellent starts, getting a lot of Ks, some walks, still, a few, speed bumps here and there, but overall excellent. Definitely looks like he's putting it together. And then Cabrera, I made a joke in the last start he had where we were covering that game. I was like, this guy just gives up 3 runs every start reliably, which is true. And that start gave up 3. Here he probably won't just because of the pitching weather. But Cabrera, again, reliably mediocre, but doesn't seem to be able to do better than that. I definitely took a shot with Harrison over 15.5 outs at just minus 110, because even though he's not going deep right now, this should be a good spot for him, and I think they will certainly be trying to at least let him get 6 inning starts under his belt. I feel like what that is. So I'm going to take that. Almost, I don't really care how much it's moved. I got it over 15.5 outs, 15.5 at minus 110. Let's see where that is right now. The Harrison outs prop. Pitching outs. There we go. Oh, wow. Now it's 16.5. Famous last words. All right. I am going to have to take 16.5. I will take it, but I don't really want to. I got it at 15.5 minus 110. I almost kind of couldn't believe it when I saw it. Hesitated for a second because I was like, anytime a line is so far off from what you think, you should hesitate for a second, almost automatically. But now it's exploded up there, and even at freaking Caesar. All right, I'll take the 16.5 outs. We have to take up to the second lines here. Over 16.5 outs for Harrison, plus 100 at Caesars, 107 at Pinnacle. So it has headed up. And then I was also no-brainer-ish thinking Milwaukee first 3 and first 5 plus a half run. No doubt about that. As far as the full game is concerned, definitely leaning Milwaukee like +1 or +1.5. Cubs team total under. Not exactly sure what to expect from Cabrera here. He should be better, but Milwaukee also has, they also have they're not reliant on the home run, so they should be able to put something up against Cabrera, although he could come in and have a shutout start here. I have to pick up the pace a little bit, but yeah, definitely Milwaukee first 3 and first 5. I don't see how I can not take that, and I think I will at plus a half minus 190. Okay, I'll do it. Minus 190. Don't love doing that, but we'll take it. First 3 plus a half run minus 190. And I think we'll do the first. Well, oh yeah. So the first 5 is just minus 145, which is much better. We'll double up, even though you probably shouldn't at that big favorite line. But whatever. We'll do it. Milwaukee first 5 plus a half minus 145. We'll take that one as well. I like the first half a lot more. Less volatility. But we'll take both, make them official, maybe stack some units. It's risky, though. First half, plus a half, minus 145. And then we'll look at the Cubs' full game team total, which is, 2.5 at plus 125. So it's low. You take 3 at a small favorite line. It's probably worth doing. I think Harrison is probably relatively the real deal here, but I think I'll just stick with where I am right now. Let's see what. Let's look at the market, and then we'll look at the comments section. Here we go, and the line has moved. In the Cubs' favor. Okay. Well, not from where I saw. The first line I saw was Cubs minus 114. Now it's minus 113. But I do see here it opened minus 106 both sides. Milwaukee and the Cubs, and so it's moved from then 7 cents in favor of the Cubs, which is a little bit surprising to me. Again, not exactly sure what those people are seeing, although I'm sure they are way better than this than I am, if not just a little bit better. So, all right, very surprising. But again, that is full game, not first 5 or first 3. And the total, opened super low and has dropped even lower. Open 6.5 plus 100 to the under. Now it's minus 111, although it did get down to minus 122. There was some buyback. All right, those are the other things I'm going to do. Let's look at the comments section here. AM likes Brewers just full game plus 104. I hear you, definitely. Top set is off of this one. Interestingly, Jerry Davis says line stinks here. Harrison much better. I know. Not just Harrison. The whole fucking team. Jerry Davis, 1191. If we were just talking about Harrison, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But it's the whole fucking team that's much better for Milwaukee. Shout out MMA Locker Room Mills. All right. Yeah, you're right. Another fishy line that I'm betting into. AM likes Milwaukee full game plus 104. I would definitely be leaning Milwaukee plus 1 or plus 1.5, something like that. What was that? And Cubs team total under 3.5. Okay. All right, next game on the card is Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Here we go. How many more games do we got here on the card here? All right, we got 3 more. All right, we have to pick up the pace just a little bit. Pittsburgh against St. Louis. Majinski against McGreevy. St. Louis small favorite here. St. Louis, they won the first game here, 9-6. They definitely seem better right now. My only question is McGreevy, because he has really been getting great results, right? Last 4 starts, all 6 innings, all awesome. More fly balls than grounders, though. Doesn't get a lot of Ks, and he's just kind of like Greg Maddux style. He doesn't have great velocity, but he has great command, nice bunch of breaking balls that he throws. Putting it all together, he gets great results. So this might be sustainable, but the peripherals are definitely looking a little bit weird and a little bit iffy. And I'm not sure what to think. And AM likes Cardinals money line minus 114. Yeah, again, this is no-brainerish also. Isn't this also the market begging you to take St. Louis? What the fuck is going on here? And McGreevy also has been suppressing hits just like Waka. Also, statistically, I was liking McGreevy under 5.5 hits at like minus 135, actually a lot. And the issue is just is what he's doing sustainable, and it might be. He does. His velocity is in the low 90s. Not getting strikeouts, really. I mean, he gets some, but not getting strikeouts. And fly balls, a lot of those. But he's really getting great results. And then you also have the Pittsburgh bullpen, which has been struggling recently. So adding it all up, I think you got it. No-brainer. Take St. Louis, right? We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. I think I'm going to make that one official. If it loses, but then look at that. Just a big. Now it's moved in Pittsburgh's favor. Now at Chris, St. Louis is just minus 108. Pittsburgh minus 104. That's like a 12-cent move in favor of St. Louis. I just don't quite get it. And then let's look at the total for this one. Total has dropped. Yep. Almost a half run. It was 8 slightly juiced to the under when it opened. Now it's 7.5 slightly juiced to the over. That I understand. Lajinsky less, last 2 less bad. His strikeouts were way down. And then 3 starts before that, he was getting hit hard, but his strikeouts were way up. So in general, I kind of like him. I definitely agree with the under in general here. Should be a lower scoring game. I'm just not understanding all the other stuff involved. Right? What do you think? Comment section? All right. I'll take St. Louis money line minus 108, despite the fact that I once again might be doing something that is pretty freaking trappy here and pretty in retrospect square. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. And then the McGreevy hits prop 5.5 minus 127. Statistically, that is good, but I'm just not sure if I'm falling into some kind of trap here. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll just take it. I mean, I bet it. I'll take it. It's got a little bit against me, but whatever. Under 5.5 hits, minus 127 for McGreevy. That's what I was liking there. Pittsburgh team total under was something I was thinking about as well, but I'll hold off on that one. Yeah, Pittsburgh team total under is like, 3.5 plus 101, 4 at a little bit of a favorite line. Colin Gregory likes Pirates team total over 3.5. Chosen one likes Cards. All right, so we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. Maybe St. Louis will win it 6-4, and McGreevy only gives up 5 hits. Hopefully that's what happens. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card is Dodgers in San Diego. Ohtani against Vasquez. Remember that San Francisco game with Ohtani? I didn't understand it. I was like, I love his strikeouts prop. The other teams, I think it was San Francisco's first 5 team total under. Again, here we go. We talk about the baseball market. Sometimes it's not being efficient still, even in 2026. And it seems like with Ohtani, that might be the case again. Then the other side, you got Vasquez. Classic. This is like junk against Sale, except much more frustrating because Vasquez overall is excellent, but it's definitely a 2/3 proposition with him, right? 2/3 of the time, he's going to match Ohtani inning for inning. But 1/3 of the time, he's going to get hit. So probably, again, Dodgers first 5. Run line might be the way to go. I'm not exactly sure, and then leaning Vasquez over 4.5 hits, even at the big favorite line, though. Ohtani under 4.5 hits, even at a pretty big favorite line. And, of course, the old San Diego first 5 team total under going up against Ohtani. What is that line? Let's look at this. Yeah, 1.5 minus 147. How can that be? All right, I'll make that official. San Diego, first 5, team total under 1.5 minus 147. I mean, 2 starts ago, Ohtani gave up 2 runs to Houston. It could happen here. But until further notice, he's just so great. I don't see how he can not take shots with that. Now, the first 5 is a little bit more, I like Vasquez a lot more in general than Jansen Junk. So I'm not sure what I think about Dodgers' first 5 run line. That's tough. Let's look at the market, and then we'll look at the comment section. What has the market done here? It's moved in the Dodgers' favor. Yep, pretty significantly. If you remember, the Sale game moved in the other direction. But this one has moved 20 cents in the Dodgers' favor from opening. Open Dodgers minus 160. Now at Chris, it's all the way up to minus 183. Yep. So from opening, it's moved in the Dodgers' favor. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's see when that move happened. Yeah, no, that wasn't really a limit thing either. It was kind of and in fact, at about 4:50 p.m., there was a 10-cent hit down to San Diego. That probably was some buyback, and then it came back. All right, so an expected market move towards the Dodgers. Nothing else really that telling. Total has gotten bet up about 10 cents from opening. At Chris, it actually got up to 7.5. Wow, it got all the way up to 7.5, slightly juiced to the over. All the way up there. That was at noon, and then it came back down to 7. All right, so I'm definitely going to take Padres first 5 team total under, no doubt about it. And then, I don't know, lean to Vasquez over 15.5 outs, lean to Vasquez over 4.5 hits, even at a plus at a big favorite line. Lean to Ohtani under 4.5 hits, even at a favorite line, and that's about it. Let's see what people in the comment section have to say about this shit right here. Gorky, I'm liking the Padres plus 1.5 minus 110. See, the thing that makes me nervous about that is that I feel like there's high volatility with Vasquez. If Vasquez is at his 66% start level, the Padres could win this easily. If it's at his 33% level, they're likely to lose by more than 1. That's the only thing that makes me nervous there. Top Set likes Dodgers Atlanta parlay, so Top Set liking the Dodgers here, and the market agrees with you. All right, let's see what Gorky likes Vegas. That is very interesting. We'll talk about that in a second. We will talk about that in a second. All right, so let me just decide what I want to do here. I think so. Definitely, I'm taking. Maybe I should probably just stick with that. But the other stuff, Vasquez outs. Oh, now it's up to 16.5. Look at that, man. Yeah, I took the 15.5 at like minus whatever it was, whatever I got. And now it's up to 16.5. And if he's having one of his good days, then he should get to 6. Kind of no problem. If he, high volatility with Vasquez. Let's look at this. Where are the outs, man? Oh, man, I'd have to get 16. See, Vasquez can have a 5 1/3 inning start, though. That is, oh, man, I got 15.5 minus 113. And I also got the over hits prop. Let's see what happened with him. All right, we're not going to waste too much time here, but at 4.5 minus 166 lean that way. All right, we'll make all these just leans. All of this Vasquez stuff, just leans. Lean, Vasquez, over 16.5 outs, minus 105. Vasquez, over 4.5 hits, minus 164. And what else do we like here? At the Ohtani under hits prop. I guess we'll just make that one a lean as well, right? 4.5. Oh, now it's 151 at Pinnacle. I did hit that one. The Ohtani hits prop. Where is that? Don't worry. We're gonna keep free. Oh, minus 139. All right, we'll just keep that as a. Man, that is pretty good though. Ohtani's so good when he's on his game though. He really is. He really, really fucking is. All right, we'll make that one official. That's not a lean. That's official. Ohtani under 4.5 hits, minus 139. Okay, we'll see. If it loses, it's just 1.4 units, which is it's also correlated with the first 5, but whatever. All right, last MLB game on the card. Tell us what you think. The A's and the Angels. The A's and the Angels. Savale against Kochanowicz. Savale's been very good overall. Last 4 starts, great. Strikeout walk numbers aren't great, though, and a stream fly ball pitcher, but this is probably not the spot where he's going to get challenged. The Angels are just not a good team, man. They lost the first game 2-1. Then, the A's lost the first game 2-1. Then they won yesterday 14-6, and it just, in general, the Angels are just not inspiring. So I did take a shot with Savale over 15.5 outs at minus 106, even though he doesn't go deep. We'll see where that is right now. And I also took a shot with Savale over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 136, even though he doesn't really have great strikeout numbers. The numbers liked it a little bit, so I took it. I like the outs prop more. And I even took a shot with Kochanowicz over 3.5 strikeouts at minus 145, even though he can be a very low strikeout guy. Just the numbers liked it a little bit, but I like the Savale prop more than either of those two. We'll see what the market has says about these money lines. The money lines, has not really moved. Tiny move in favor of the A's, which I understand. And as far as the total is concerned, let's see. Gotten bet up. Okay, so now it's up to 9.5. Which, I can certainly, Kochanowicz, high volatility. He got crushed his last 2 starts. When he's good, he's a ground ball guy. So when he's good, he's lights out. Classic 7-inning, 1-run, 3 strikeout guy. But when he gets crushed, classic 4-inning, 8 runs guy. Savale's been good overall. So, I think he's going to be more vulnerable going forward. Not sure that this game is where it's going to happen, but the total's definitely gotten bet up. All right, let's just look at the lines and then, the props here, and then I'll make a decision what I want to make official. Then we'll talk about the 2 playoff games here. Savale, over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 130. All right, I'll take it. Savale, that's official play. Over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 130. I like the outs prop more. Let's see where that is right now. 15.5. All right, minus 113. We'll take that one. Savale, over 15.5 outs, minus 113. We'll see where it is on Caesar, just in case I can get a better number. And then the Kochanowicz one. I also did take a shot with a 3.5 minus 145, even though, he can be a very low strikeouts guy. All right, I guess I'll add that one on. No, you know what? I'll just keep that one as a lean. Kochanowicz, over 4.5 strikeouts. 3.5 strikeouts, minus 145. That is an official lean, but not an official play. And that does it for my MLB card. As far as the side on this one, of course it would be A's or nothing. No way I could take the Angels going up against Savale. Even if if Kochanowicz is good, then the under is great, and the Angels might actually have some value. But the total's gotten bet up, so I'm a little bit surprised that the line has moved more in the A's favor. Okay. Oh, no. Savali's still minus 106 at Caesar, so I'll make that one the official line there. There we go there. And that's it. All right, now let's talk about the two playoff games, everyone. In the comment section, let us know. Mark A. Mantek took the A's. Spoonsbets likes the A's. Okay, we got a few minutes here to talk about the two playoff games. First one, NBA, Spurs and OKC. Of course, Spurs won game one in OKC. I'm not going to say that I called that one. I said I have no clue what to expect here. I did say, but if you gave me a free play, it'd be on the Spurs +7, and it would be on the under. And, of course, the under, I think, cash in OT, but not, in regulation, but not in OT. So now you got OKC. The question is just how great are the Spurs? Because I was thinking here, OKC minus the points, OKC team total over maybe, OKC first half team total over as well. I mean, the Spurs are obviously a great defensive team, so it's tough to get to 110 against the Spurs, no matter who you are. All playoffs long. Only Minnesota got over 112. They got there once, and then they gave up 108 or more 3 other times. Once at Portland, twice at Minnesota. OKC should be a lot better than those teams, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think about this one? Yep, AM likes the over 216. 216. Spoonsbets likes first 5 Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, I took Cardinals full game, even though the market has moved against them. I'm a believer in McGreevy, at least as of right now. All right, so let's see. There are some plays I think I'm going to make. Here we go. OKC now -7. I mean, OKC in previous years when they lost, and now it's 7.5 at Chris. Look at that. When they lost the first game of a playoff series, they just blasted the other team in the next game. But OKC maybe is better than those other teams. I mean, the Spurs are maybe better than those other teams. Look at that. It's 7.5 now at Chris. Look at that. And I was definitely thinking about the over as well. AM liking the over 216. Open to 215 at Chris. Now it's up to 216.5. All right, I will. Let me. We only got a minute. Oh God! All right, here we go. I'm going to take. I want to take at least team total overs here with OKC, and I think I'm going to do first half and full game. All right, first half team total over for OKC. Oh man, 57.5 -105. Holy crap! All right, I'll do full game team total over for OKC. 111.5 -113. Current line of Pinnacle, and then the first half. Look at that, man. Oh, man, it's got to be OKC -4 -112. They should smash him, shouldn't they? They should smash him, shouldn't they? Maybe I'll just take the full game team total over. What do you guys think? Yeah. All right. I think I'll just stick with the OKC team total over 111.5 -113. Maybe I'll do the first half OKC money line 225, something like that. I don't know, man. They should really come out and just pound them. I'll just take the team total over. All right, next game on the card. We've got a minute, I think, extra, right? Vegas and Colorado, game one in this one. Vegas won each of the first 2 series in 6. Colorado beat LA in 4, Minnesota in 5. The Avs, are they just too good or not? I really don't know. Of course, in 2021, Vegas beat Colorado in the playoffs. Both teams have some injuries. Vegas still has Mark Stone out. He is out for this game. He might come back later in this series, but he's out. Some people are banged up for Colorado, but they're pretty deep. Colorado, a big, favorite here. Total 6.5, juice to the under. Let's see where this line moved, if at all. Yeah, Colorado's still a huge favorite at Chris. Just a very, very small move towards Vegas from opening. Gorky on the record saying he likes Vegas money line to get the win. Colorado got all the way up to -200 earlier in the week. But now it's come all the way back down to -177. And then we got the total here. Total here is now down to 6. Right. Oh, no, it got up to 6.5. Now it's actually 10 cents higher than where it opened. I'd be leaning over, although the first games in Colorado against LA were very low scoring. But Vegas, who knows what they're going to do. I'd definitely be leaning over. And as AM likes Vegas +1.5. Swiggy says Jimmy's on Colorado -1. And on that note, I'll be completely off of this game. Gorky on Vegas to win outright. AM on Vegas +1.5. And Jimmy on Colorado -1. Free play on the total, I'd put it on the over. Free play on the side, I'd put it on, I don't even know. We don't really have time to think about it, but it was a great show. I am going to take the Spurs team total over 111.5 -113 is my only official playoff play. And we'll see you on Friday, baby. Thanks so much, everyone.
It's easier to sleep in the black. When you're losing your ass and feeling so-so, you know what to do. Tune in to Pub Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Debbie and the fam, Dutch wine time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.